What's up everybody, this is Coach Ajit, and in this video we are talking about why do your client quit things, or why do you quit things and what to do about it. Today we are discussing life coaching questions that will help you identify why do your clients quit projects, or why do you quit any of the projects, and what is it that you can do, some life coaching strategies that will help you help your clients to stick with what they commit to. But before we even get into understanding why do they quit, let's understand why does anybody quit anything, right? There are some key reasons why individuals quit things in their lives, right? It could be a relationship that you're quitting. It might be a work or a task or a project that you might be quitting. You might be quitting a particular social media platform that you thought was going to be the future, and then you decided you should quit it. There are some key fundamental reasons that leads for that to happen. One of the reasons why that happens is because anything that you decided that you want to do as a project, or your client decided that they want to do as a project, they started thinking they can achieve that goal in a particular time frame. They set an expectation for themselves. They said, all right, I'm going to go on TikTok and I'm going to nail TikTok in 3 weeks, right? And as they started the journey, they realized it's really not that easy, that it was too hard. And that's the first reason why we quit. We quit because something is so hard based on the expectation that we set of ourselves. And because we have that expectation, we set ourselves up for failure because we set an unrealistic expectation for ourselves. The second reason we quit is something gets boring, that it becomes so easy that it's actually boring to do. How many times has it happened where you started a project and you were excited about it when you started it, and then there was a point in the project's timeline where you could do it with your eyes closed, and suddenly you were not interested in doing it anymore. And because you were not interested in doing it anymore, you started to quit on it without realizing that you were quitting on something that actually may be fruitful. So the second reason why your clients quit on their projects or relationships or health journeys and so forth is because it gets too easy, it gets too boring. And because it gets too boring, there's no excitement that drives them to take action towards it. You know, one of the reasons why relationships lose juice or lose the love that it has is because when it starts with high dopamine in it, there's excitement, there is curiosity, there's newness to it. And at some point, we start thinking, oh, you know, my partner is just like that, or they always do this, or they always do that. And we start transitioning our relationship from this exciting, fun thing where we were excited about their craziness to being concerned about their craziness and thinking that they are nuts, right? And that is where we go from exciting to boring. We just get too used to it. And that's why we quit on relationships, or that's why relationships grow stale, is because we lose the excitement around it. The third reason we quit is because things change. And when things change, if we're not adaptable to that change, we are not adapting to that change, it becomes really difficult for us to stick around. It gets too hard, too difficult, too different. And so because we are uncomfortable with the change, we are uncomfortable with the adaptation that needs to happen, we quit things. And lastly, we quit because something is so far out in the future, we see no light in it happening anytime soon. And so the journey feels too long, and so we quit. So these are the 4 reasons why you may find your clients quitting their projects, or you may find yourself as a coach sometimes quitting on things that you know are good for you. First is it's too hard. Second, it's too easy and too predictable. Third is because change happened and you were not adaptable. And fourth, the result is too far into the future. And because of that, your coaching client doesn't want to do it, you don't want to do it. So what can a life coach do in that scenario to be able to help their client to stick with what they know, even your client knows, is good for them? What is it that a life coach, a business coach, a health coach can do to keep the journey of the client going? I want to demonstrate this entire series of questions with an example from my own life. You see, recently in life, I'd realized that I had worked on pretty much every area of my life, and they have been great. I feel really fulfilled as a parent. I feel really fulfilled as a partner. I have an amazing relationship. I have an amazing place that I live. I'm financially free. I have great habits that I love. I love writing. I'm able to do that. So it's everything that I could think of in my life seemed like I was living my dream life, except one thing. And this was a thing that I quit most often in the last 5 or 6 years. And this was happening because I would start my health journey with an unreasonably high expectation of myself. And because of that, I would make things really, really difficult. And then life was always changing, so I would associate that I cannot keep the habit of going to the gym or eating healthy because life has changed too much. So I had all the factors that I just shared with you on why we quit things stacked on top of each other. And I found a reason to quit on my own health. And so recently, I had recommitted myself to my health journey, and I see visible changes in my well-being and my energy levels and everything. Now, let me walk you through what I asked myself as a life coach, as a self-coaching question to myself, so I didn't quit this time. So I asked myself the first question, and you want to ask your coaching clients this question. You want to ask yourself, if you as a life coach, as a business coach, as a health coach are quitting on things. The first question to ask yourself is why do I quit? You know the 4 reasons why you may be quitting anything. Ask yourself, why is it that I quit? Blank. Whatever is the situation that you've been quitting. Try and observe your own thinking and your own thought to go, why is it that I quit my own journey? Like, I know this is good for me, right? I knew working on my health is good for me. I will have more energy. I will have more energy for my kids. I will feel better. I will be more capable of serving love, which I want to do in the world. I'll be more amazing as a partner to my wife. I'll be more amazing as a parent. I'll be more amazing as a child to my parents. Why would I quit? And I found the reason why I was quitting is because I was setting such unrealistic expectations of myself that I would give up even before I had tried enough to get close to the outcome that I really wanted in my life. I hadn't given myself a fair enough chance as a human being to actually continue to work towards my goals. I had not given myself the opportunity of thinking living a healthy life is a lifestyle choice. It's not a moment in life. You don't do it for a day. You find a lifestyle that fits you and that gives you the energetic outcomes, the health outcomes that you're seeking, right? But I had to ask that question to myself to be able to even identify why I was quitting. So ask yourself, ask your clients, why is it that you're quitting blank? Whatever that is that they're quitting. And that's the first question. The second question you want to ask is this a pattern? Is this something that you repeatedly do? Is quitting a habit by any chance for your clients, for your coaching clients? And the reason why you want to ask that question is because sometimes, while these 4 are the big reasons to quit, sometimes there are small and big traumas in our lives that have set ourselves up for quitting. Where anytime we're about to achieve success, our traumas show up. And because of those traumas, we start to quit on things. So ask your clients, your coaching clients, this question is this an observable pattern? Are you quitting in every area of your life? Or is there a particular area where you can spot where you tend to quit more frequently and more often when you start your journey? And if there is a particular area where you tend to do this more often, like I had around health, is there something, is there an event, is there a situation that may have programmed you for this? Now, I found that I had a small trauma around it. And I say small traumas and large traumas is because sometimes there are small events in our lives that create big impact and big stories in our life, but they're so small that they can be reprogrammed fairly easily with coaching questions and self-coaching and by hiring coaches that can work with you around that topic. And sometimes they're large traumas, which are PTSDs or something that was so life-threatening that it's almost impossible for you to get past it just by yourself. And you need a therapist or some kind of medical advice for you to really be guided through that experience. So if it is a small trauma, you as a coach can guide them. If it's a large trauma where they need a therapist support or they need more advanced support with even medication, if that is the case, it's rare, but if that happens, you may want to address that in that way. But if it's a small trauma like I had, which was I had constantly been told the story of, because that was the story around my household, because everybody in my extended family, and if you know about my background, we have 23 people living in the same house, so I had a big extended family. Everybody in my extended family, we were not very wealthy, and the way to demonstrate wealth and the love and acceptance and health in my family was if you were slightly overweight. I know this sounds really weird to hear here, but this was an actual story. People would comment if a kid looked healthy and normal, but they would be excited about a kid that was slightly overweight. They said, oh, that's a healthy kid. They are a little overweight. You should be a little chubby. right? And while, again, there's nothing, this is not to say if this is right or wrong. I'm just saying that was a trauma for me, because for me, that reflected on, oh, if I'm losing weight, I may not be healthy, I may not be wealthy. And I didn't even recognize that was the subconscious programming that I had. Now, again, this is not to body shame anyone or anything. I'm talking about my personal reflection. So please take it in context of my story. Everybody has a personal choice and must have a personal choice on what they deem healthy, what they deem fit, right? I consider myself healthy and fit when I have certain energy levels on a day-to-day basis. And I feel that is more true for me now than it was in the past when I was eating foods that were not really serving my energy. So it is completely personal. I'm simply reflecting my personal experience. So identify that small or big trauma that a person may have, your client may have, you may have around a particular life situation where you're quitting on things. It may be programming that you have had that you need to work with and self-reflect on, self-coach on, so you can get past it and create a better outcome for yourself based on that small trauma, which is more likely to be in your scenario. The third thing that you want to do, and this is the key to creating new habits and new rewarding habits for yourself, is we very often think that we need to heal our past completely for us to create new movement in life. Whereas most of our new movement in life, when the past is not so traumatic that it definitely needs healing, is actually created by reward. If you want to take an example, think about it like this. If somebody gave you more money to do a particular act, if money was something that you measured as your success and you were excited about, let's say, you will tend to do that act more easily. If you got a raise, for example, if your client got a raise, they will do that job even more excitedly. Why? Because there's more reward associated to it. We always want to do things when there's a bigger reward at the end, and we want to do only the neural pathways where there is more reward in the end. Now, these rewards usually are not money centered. They're usually things like food, because there's a dopamine hit that you get immediately. There's some kind of curiosity that is lying ahead. There's some kind of discovery that's happening. You're really managing your dopamine. Really, what I'm talking about here is you're kind of going, okay, what will hit my dopamine levels in a way that I will see a reward that is greater than the reward that I have in my current behavior of quitting, right? So what is it that you reward yourself, unknowing, consciously or unconsciously, when you quit something? Right? Because you most likely are rewarding yourself with something. It could be that, oh, I quit and I need a bucket of ice cream. You're rewarding yourself still, even in sorrow, right? So you want to find out what that reward is, and now you want to ask yourself, what is the new, more exciting reward that I can associate with this particular non-quitting attitude so I can stick with my journey? So those are the fundamental 3 questions that will help you identify, why are you quitting? Is there a reason in the past that is there, or is there a wrong reward system that you've set up for yourself, creating a habit loop that is not serving you anymore and serving your clients anymore? And so as a life coach, as a business coach, as a health coach, you want to now question these things. So once you've identified, okay, what is happening? Why is my client quitting? Is there a small or a big trauma around it? Is there some reward association that they have around it? Once you've identified these 3 things, now we talk about how is it that you can create new reality or new pathway for yourself so you don't quit. Now, the key to success of this model is that you do what we are going to suggest as a strategy for at least 60 to 90 days. I have no scientific backing that says it's 60 to 90 days, but my personal experience suggests that for me and for my clients, it has always been either 60 or 90 days that they repeated this particular behavior. And because of that, they got into a habit of not quitting, or not quitting that thing that they were always quitting, and created a new habit around it, because anyways, that was a desired outcome that they wanted to have. They just had to create new neural associations to keep doing the pathway. So the first thing that you want to do is to find small habits and not big expectations that move you towards the direction of things that you want to continue doing. Let's take an example of my health journey like I was suggesting. So previously, what I would do is I would say, all right, I'm going to hit the gym 6 days a week, and I'm going to work my butt off every day, and I'm not going to eat anything that I like, right? And that was the perfect recipe for me quitting everything, and that's what was happening every time, is I would not eat the food for 5 or 6 days, and then I'll be like, this is garbage, I'm not doing it. Or I would be so tired and exhausted that I didn't want to hit the gym again, and then I would miss it for 3 or 4 days, and then of course I was not going back to the gym. So I asked myself, hey, I always quit on my health. Let's create some simple programming that allows me to actually stay present to my health journey and be able to actually create movement around it that gets me excited and creates a new reward structure around it. So I said, okay, what is the small things that I can do? So first thing that I did was I picked up a routine that actually we share here at Mindvalley called 10X. This routine requires you to go to the gym 3 times a week for 20 minutes each day. And that's it. So it's in total 60 minutes a week. So it's not a big commitment. It's very easy to do. The routines are pretty structured. It's the same exercises you do. So it's not like you're going, oh, I need to learn some complex thing to be able to see any results. So it was a simple enough thing to do. So I said, okay, let me follow this 10X routine. Let me commit to this 20 minutes, 3 times a week, which is easy enough to follow. Let me do that. The essence of that is create micro habits. Create habits that are small, things that are easy to do. Create something that is so easy to do, it doesn't feel like effort. It doesn't feel like, oh, I have to do special preparation to do this. You can just do it with your being fairly easily. Second key to creating new realities for you so you don't quit. You see, just doing the same thing again and again will get you bored, right? And that's the second reason why we quit things, is because we were bored out of our mind doing what we were doing. So you don't want it to be easy. You want it to be challenging. So the second key is that it needs to be progressive. In my scenario, it's called progressive overload. It's a known physical fitness thing where you are picking up progressively higher weights every time you go to the gym, or every couple of weeks you go to the gym. And so what I was doing is, like, every couple of weeks or couple of days, I would make it a little bit harder for me to do the routine that we are supposed to do. So it wasn't easy every time I hit the gym, but over the course of time, I constantly picked up more and more weights. And because of that, I had something to look forward to. I was hijacking my dopamine by saying, oh, what is it that I'm going to pick today? Oh, how much weight can I do now? Right? So I was hijacking my dopamine to stay curious and interested in that change that was coming next. The third key is that it needs to be assuring. You need to feel like you're making progress, because when you feel like you're making progress, you feel like, oh, I'm moving towards the target that I have. I'm not moving towards it. I have some progress towards it. And because it has some progress towards it, guess what happens? You're excited about it. You want to stay with the journey because there is progress. So you want to find that assurance. My assurance was, am I picking up higher weights? Is my body looking different? Am I feeling different? Which is the key to everything that I wanted to change in my life. And how do I feel after I'm done? Right? Which also is the fourth key, which is it rejuvenating? Because if it is not going to give you energy, you're not going to stick with it. You're going to only stick with things where the reward is so exciting. I feel after my 10X workout that I'm so rejuvenated. I'm excited, I'm elated, I'm more fun as a person because it rejuvenates me. It doesn't take energy from me, it gives energy to me. And when it's rejuvenating, you want to keep doing it because the reward for sticking with the habit, sticking with what they're doing is greater than quitting it. And that's when you create a winning structure. You create a winning scenario for you, your clients, as you coach them through any scenario, through life, through business, through health, through anything, for them to be able to stay present to the journey and keep with the journey because they are getting more reward than what they were getting as they quit what they were doing. Now, I know this might have been a life-changing presentation for you because you have learned so much about why you quit things, why your client quit things, why you may have potentially quit things in the past, and how to really re-engineer yourself to not quit things. And I know you're going to use this information, which is why I want you to hit that red subscribe button, because as you subscribe to this channel, you will be able to come back to this video easily because you'll be subscribed to this channel, and every single time we post a new video, you get a notification on YouTube, and you can easily come back to the channel and get all this great information every single week, week after week. Also, I want you to make sure that you share this with any coach or client that you think needs help in not quitting things that are really important to them. They understand why they have been quitting, and they can create a new habit of not quitting. Not quitting if it's important to them especially. I know you engaged in this video. You watched it all the way till now. Tell me what was exciting for you. Put it in the comment section below and hit that like button. I would really appreciate your comments and thoughts on this idea of why we quit and how to stop ourselves from quitting. Thank you so much for watching. This is Ajit Navlaka, and you watched it on EverCoach.